Things are really bad in Mozambique, fellas. Things are really bad in Mozambique. We're going to talk about this right now. And we're going to talk about Chad, where things are also very, very bad. These are two countries. Okay, see you now. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing good. It's not a beautiful day because, some of our brothers in Mozambique are not doing well. Okay, I'm sure you heard about this. Mozambique is this tiny country somewhere here in Southern Africa. Right now, there's mayhem. People are in the street, people are screaming, people are getting unalived, and it's very sad. The South African government has closed its border to Mozambique, and that's very sad because even the South African government is losing a lot of money. We're going to look into that right now. Okay, so what's happening in Mozambique? In Mozambique, there was elections, and people have contested the results of the elections. They believe that there was a play. Okay, that's happened a lot in Africa, unfortunately. They believe that the person that was supposed to win the election was not the victor because the party in power has tricked things in a way that that person that's very much liked by the people would lose the election. They registered a lot of discrepancies. Many stations not working properly, no electricity, not everybody voting, some people being stopped from voting. So they found it absolutely unfair. Now, even though that's how things happened, they believe the person that was supposed to win, the opposition leader, Venancio Mondlane, was tricked into losing the election. And it's been weeks. Mozambicans are not happy. You know, usually this type of situations happen in many African countries. You just need to send the soldiers in the street, beat people up, shoot in the air, and people get scared. And once they get scared, they go back home. You know, and the very next day they tell you, if you don't come to work, we're gonna fire you. And people rush to work. And that's it, you get back to normal. But in Mozambique, it's not happening this time. This is a clear indication that people are very tired of what's happening. The opposition leader, Venancio Mondlane, who claimed to have won the presidential election vote in which electoral authority placed him second with 20%. I mean, the guy was supposed to be a winner. He was very much liked by the people. They say he only got 20%. And observers say it was rigged. Observers say the election was rigged. Nothing was clear in the story. Now, who was the winner? The winner was Daniel Chapo from the Frelimo party. He won with 70%. Now, Frelimo has been in power since 1975, since Mozambique got its independence. And this has been the party that's liberated, quote-unquote, Mozambique from the shackle of the Portuguese. So Mozambique, with Angola and Cape Verde, were the countries that were colonized by the Portuguese. They speak Portuguese as a national language. Portuguese is the language for Mozambicans, Angolans, and Cape Verdeans, because the Portuguese came to Africa and ruled Mozambique, Angola, and Cape Verde. Now, it is very interesting to see that Europeans can come to Africa and impose you a language, take away your freedom, take away your religion, and especially the language, and you don't even bother to try to learn a united language of Africa. Like Swahili. Swahili is a beautiful language. It's the most spoken language in Africa. Millions of people speak Swahili. Swahili is spoken in Tanzania, Swahili is spoken in Kenya, Swahili is spoken in Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda, Swahili is spoken in Congo, and many other places. Why can't Africans just come together, let's adopt this language, and let's make it compulsory? There must be exams on Swahili every month at the office. If you don't get right your Swahili, you're gonna take 5% of your salary. Trust me, people will learn Swahili very fast. Take 5% of your salary. You want to make a black man do something? Touch his money. Just touch his money, I'm telling you. You guys speak English so well, you can learn Swahili so you can communicate with the next African person. And it's very sad, you know, when you talk to somebody in English, you're speaking to the brain. Speak to them in the language, you're speaking to their heart. That's how they say it. If I say to you, Sanbonani, Banganibani, how do you feel? You feel touched. Hi, my friend. You know, it's different. If I say, Vipi rafiki yangu na mademu zangu, how do you feel? It feels good. You know what I mean? If I say Jebaleko, I say Bonabanyao, Uli Burunji, how do you feel? You feel amazing. Do you want me to continue? No, I speak too many languages. I don't want to bother you. So Mozambique is in mayhem right now, and people are not happy at all. And they're in the street, they're fighting. They are not giving up. They want the government to be changed. They have even started doing something very peculiar. At night, people come up and they start banging pots together to make noise. That's the protest they're showing. Because when they come to the street, they get beat up by the police and the military. So they decided to continue some sort of protest even inside the house. That shows a high level of protest. And I just hope they're going to continue doing what they have to do, what's necessary for them to see the result.
There are people who have died here today. Friends, neighbors that died today here. There are people suffering till now. I don't know why they are putting so much pressure on us. They're also suffering like us. They don't have a good salary. They and their families are suffering. What are they doing? Let's fight for our country.
African leaders play with us. They think we're stupid. Now, the South African government has suspended operation in its main border crossing with Mozambique, a coal and chrome export hub, as election-related protests flare into the Southern African nation. Okay, so South Africa exports many of its things to Mozambique. Okay, I know a lot of South Africans don't know that. When you see Mozambican people, you just think they're just these stupid people running away from their country. Well, South Africa is losing money right now, about close to $1 million a day, because the border with Mozambique is closed. And I don't think South African people want to see that, because that's South African government's money. That's the money that's pays ground for many people. That's the money that's paid for your grandma, retirement. That's a very important money. So you better be nice to the Mozambicans. So fellas, it's just very sad to see in Africa, ruling parties, in South Africa it's called the ANC, in Mozambique it's the Frelimo, in Botswana, I forgot the name, Botswana has shown us something very interesting. For the very first time, somebody who does not belong to the ruling party became president in the most playful way possible. Beautiful. That's the kind of democracy we want to see in Africa. Unfortunately, the people in power, the party that's been in power, that ousted the colonialists, they think that the country belongs to them because they fought the colonialists. So they feel like you should tell them nothing. The power and the presidency should stay with them. That is unacceptable. And I think that's need to change. Now we're going to Chad. Here is Chad, fellas. I know we don't talk about Chad very much. Northern African country, it's very hot. I suggest when you go there, don't just swoop, man. It's very, very hot. Now in Chad, the president has been elevated from general to marshal. You know what a marshal is? The marshal is the highest level that one can possibly get in the army. Now, this president of Chad succeeded to his own father in the presidency. His father stayed in power since 1991. He had been there for 30 years when he replaced his father. Okay. Yeah, you see a lot of these things in Africa, unfortunately. Many Africans think, their countries is. So Mahatma Devi, who's president to Chad, is a replacement to his own father. Idris Deby, who was president for a long time ago, for about 30 years was president. Now that's an issue you see in Africa. People become president and they don't want to leave the presidency. It's very sad because it's the system of kingdom, it's the same mentality. And when somebody's in power like that, it becomes difficult. And you know what's wrong with the situation? It's not even the president. Sometimes the president want to be just president for his term and leave. It's the people around the president that come and tell him, hey, president, you don't have to leave. We can create a story here saying there are rebels in the country and you can stay in power for longer. This is our opportunity, This is our opportunity to win, to make money. Because in Africa, most presidents and their relatives can make as much money as they like. They will never be called to justice for that. Yeah, that's the situation. It's very sad. Now, people will come into the president here and tell him, listen, just stay in power. Let us win, because if you give them power, you don't know when next it's going to be our turn. Sometimes they'll even use God, saying God has given us an opportunity. You want to give it away. Forgetting this is absolutely nothing to do with God. The problem with the president being marshal is, this reminds us of President Mobutu, who used to be a good guy in the beginning. When he came into power, even though he came illegally, he brought up something very interesting to the Congolese people at the time. So back in time, Congolese people's name were white people name. Yes, the name were Bertrand Jean Lucas, Jean-Pierre Pétagore. There was Congolese people's name, Monsieur Koumenaker, for instance. Yes, they did not have African names. When Mobutu came, Mobutu installed what he called Retour à l'authenticité, where he forced Congolese people to take back their African names. That's when the Congolese people's name became Lumba, Chitanga, Katanga. Yes, that was Mobutu. So he did something very good with Africans at that time.
Pour perpétuer l'exploitation de l'homme noir par l'homme blanc, les colonisateurs se mirent à liquider systématiquement les traditions africaines, les langues africaines, la culture africaine. Bref, à abrutir complètement le noir, de façon à ce qu'il ne parle, ne pense, ne mange, ne s'habille, ne rit et ne respire que suivant le mode du blanc.
Giving them back their identity. You know, when colonialists came into Africa, they destroyed everything in terms of culture, mentality, and all of that stuff. They destroyed people's customs. They told people that your custom and tradition is witchcraft. If you pray your ancestors, it's witchcraft. But you can pray my ancestor, his name is Moses. The other one, his name is Jonas, or whoever, that's okay. It's the same concept. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying your religion is bad or wrong. That's your choice to make. What I'm saying is they came to destroy cultures and identities for whatever reason. And Mobutu came back and said, no, we're not going to accept that. You never see a Jewish man named Karala. You never see a Jewish man named Mutombo. Why do you have a Jewish name? Why do you call him Ishmael? That was Mobutu. Now, I'm not saying he was a good guy all along. He did a lot of bad things. But he was later on a marcher. When he became a marcher, then, ego came and he became very weird as a person, unfortunately. Same as Mwekassa. This is Mwekassa from Central Africa. Initially, he was okay until he wanted to become the marcher. When he became a marcher, they gave him some weird celebration. Weird. Look at that. Look at this guy. He became the king of kings. That's what they called him. And he was delusional and was unalived in France. That's where he lost his whatever. Anyway, do you think this is a good thing for Mr. General from Chad to become marcher? Is it important or necessary? Don't you think there are more priorities or things that people should be focusing on now to better lives of the people instead of becoming a marcher? Don't you need years and years and years of work and winning wars for you to be a marcher? I'm just asking. Let me know if you know about this, fellas. We're talking about Frelimo in Mozambique. The South African government has closed the border, but it is losing millions of dollars every single day. And that's very bad. In Chad, fellas, the president want to be a marcher. He's not already been a marcher. Is this important? God bless.